It's the place where a child's first memories are often born. One of the first things they draw pictures of when they're little. The four walls they grow up inside, and the bed where they sleep. But for many children here in the mountains, that home has suddenly become hard to find.
This is our foster care room.
Which is why Hope Kim opens up her own family's home nearly every night for kids who simply have nowhere else to go.
And we also have a crib in this room for an infant placement.
From newborns to teenagers, lately, these beds stay full.
It's more recent, more often we get those calls where it's, hey, can you take this kid for the night? Hey, will you just do it for the weekend? Just for a few hours. We get that way more often than we used to.
So despite the demands of her own two children, Kim continues to say yes.
We know that if our no is a no, that the child is going to sleep at DSS. And that's hard on a foster parent emotionally, and that's tolling on a family unit to know that you have to say no to a child. It's heartbreaking. Children should never have to sleep on a couch in an office, even for a night.
But that's exactly what's happening. In Henderson County, children have slept on a sofa in a visitation room like this one. In Jackson County, it's a pull-out bed in a similar room. In Buncombe County, DSS leased a separate office building last year for kids to spend the night.
Since February 1st, we've had 80 foster care stays, 80 overnight stays in our visitation center. So that would equate to 26% of the years.
As you can see on this map, some counties have avoided overnight office stays, but others have used their buildings or even nearby hotels as homes for children hundreds of nights this year.
When you try to find these children, more children than you've ever had in custody before, when you try to find them these services, what are you finding? Are there not spots? Are there not workers? What is the issue with getting them the services they need?
There's simply not spots. Yeah, there's just simply no one there. We work countless hours. We have a team whose sole job is to search for placement for children. That's all they do. And they will work all day, every day, and we just receive no after no after no.
The local DSS directors we talked with say this really is a supply and demand issue, with more kids in foster care and less foster parents. After digging through state data, we found that from 2021 to 2023, the number of children in custody in our region has climbed from 1,122 to 1,164. And during that same time period, the number of foster care homes in those same counties has dropped from 653 down to 572. But the other big need is placements for children with more severe behavioral and mental health needs, what's called therapeutic care. We learned that in 2018, there were 24 level 3 group homes here in the mountains. Today, there are only 10. If a child does need more care, more support, is that even a possibility here in this area?
Not really in this area, and that is a need, is we need more level 3 group homes. We need, if a child is recommended for a psychiatric residential treatment facility, which is a level 4, there's not any in this area.
VIA Health is the agency that partners with most of the DSS offices in our area to help provide those higher level placements. According to VIA, right now 90% of children who qualify for a therapeutic bed are being placed in less than 14 days. With 51% placed in less than 3 days. Rhonda Cox tells us they used to be able to place children much quicker, but right now there are simply not as many options.
Several of the counties say there's just no beds available, there's just no spots. Why is that?
Much higher number of children, much more acute level of child. And then we also have a scenario where there are less beds in North Carolina. So all of those things are happening at the same time.
She says another big piece of the problem is not just a drop in the number of beds, but the number of mental health workers in our area.
We really have just seen across the board the ratios for our providers. We have never seen a hiring crisis like we've seen. And it's been long-standing.
Cox says federal regulations are also moving away from group homes or institutions, which means more dependence on local foster parents like Kim.
I just think that the foster families all are just kind of burnt out and feeling the lack of appreciation.
It feels like a heartbreaking cycle, with many children left spinning without the one constant they need most, a real home. Karen Zadkalak, News 13.